Hello, everyone. Oh, are you in for a good one? Good Times with Sonia. She is the mother of a son who she's inviting to come join the family to play games, and he wants to stay with his computer. And how common is this to your life? Familiar? If so, or even if not, I hope you enjoyed time with Sonia. She's just, to my mind, an incredible mother who is really dealing with her son and his computer time and family time. So here we are all together. Let's do the work with Sonia. Hello, dears. Hello. Those of you new to the work today, welcome here. In this community, together we identify the thoughts that drive us crazy, the cause of all anger, discontent, fear, hurt. We identify those thoughts. So it's an exercise in stillness. We get really still. We identify those thoughts running through our head in any given situation. And then we move those thoughts from our head to paper. And there they are, stopped. There's stop. Hell in your head, everything from mild irritation to hell in your head, on paper, available, all set up for self-inquiry. Those things you fear could be true, but notice how it affects your life when you're believing the thought. For example, something terrible is going to happen. Notice. When you're stuck in that emotional, that egoic emotional, those fears, those everything from mild irritation to just bloody terror. Thoughts from my head stopped. I can question them. And then I can try on opposites and see what makes more sense than fear. And it's not something I figure out. It's something that's shown to me as a result of self-inquiry. What a gift. But it's not something that I can give. It's something that it's a practice. It's a practice in stillness. Sonia, honey, you have a question? So everyone new today, welcome here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I filled out a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, and I have a question about it. The first answer that I filled in is I'm angry with my son because he spends so much time on the computer, tablet, phone. He's 14 years old, and every 3 minutes he is on the phone. He is watching videos. He is playing games. He is, I think that's not healthy to stay all the time on the phone, and so. I will always talk to him that he shouldn't spend so much time on the phone, and I don't want to forbid it to him. So I want him to regulate it on his own, but I think it's too much. Yeah.
Quite a dilemma that all of us as parents and grandparents, it's quite a dilemma. Our heads are in an object now, on a phone or a computer. And so we're referring to our heads, from our head to a screen, but that is a distance away from us. So it's quite a trance. So your son spends too much time on the phone. Is that number one on your worksheet? So it's true, he spends too much time on his phone. Now, to do this work, those of you new to the work, you need to anchor in a situation in a specific time and place where you're believing that thought. A time when you were angry, upset with him, maybe frustrated. What is the situation when you're thinking, my son spends too much time on his phone? And even though you may have had that thought many, many times, anchor in one time and place where you were believing he spends too much time on his phone.
Okay. That was, for me, it was some days after Christmas. We wanted to play games with him, and he he wanted to play on the computer, and he already had played a lot of time on the computer, and I got really angry that he has much. He doesn't want to do any other things with us. He doesn't want to spend time with other people.
Yeah. Yeah. He's missing time with the family. He's missing times. He just locked into his computer.
Yes.
Okay. So in that situation, you want him to come in and play games and he wants to stay at his computer. Is that the situation?
Yes.
Okay. So he spends in that situation where you want him to come in and join the family. You're thinking the thought he spends too much time on his phone.
Yes.
Was it phone or computer? What were your words?
This situation, it was the computer.
Okay. So be there now. Look at him. You're inviting him in with the family, and he doesn't want to go. He wants to be there. He spends too much time on his computer. Is it true? So really evaluate that question. He spends too much time on his computer. Is it true? Did he spend
Yes.
too much time?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay. Now notice, stay anchored there. How do you react? Witness in your mind's eye, recalling how you reacted, what happened when you had the thought he spends too much time on his computer and he'd rather be there than in the other room with the family.
I get really angry, and I argued with him, and I took off his computer.
Okay. So just be there now, witness that in your mind's eye. Noticing how you react. Not right or wrong, you're just noticing how you reacted in that situation. Now, just look at your son on the computer without the thought he spends too much time on his computer. Or you are not the only parent going through this. Oh boy, this is a big deal. Just ask the question, who are you, without the thought he spends too much time on his computer. Now look at him, look at his involvement. Notice, what could he be getting from that? Everything from wonderful to terrible.
I don't know, maybe for him that's somehow like we are playing games in real life. He's playing there with friends, and so it's giving something to him. Yes, and without the thought, I'm fine with that. But the thought makes me really really angry, and I'm afraid that that he'll have troubles in some years because he doesn't have too much friends, and he doesn't know how to get in contact with the other people, and
it's like there's a part of the world that is moving out of the world into a virtual world.
yes.
Yeah, and that's not a new world. Now I'm going to say a word and don't give it a picture, okay? Banana. Did you see that banana in your mind's eye?
Yes.
That was automatic. That is virtual reality.
Okay.
When your son is online so much of the time, he is doing what you're doing all the time. It's a screen. Like to
Okay.
say banana, when I say banana, that's you're witnessing, we'll call it a screen. Now I'll say another word and don't give it a picture, okay? Your
Okay.
son. Picture your son. Did you see an image of your son?
Yes.
That's virtual.
Yes.
You witness that screen in your head and you compare that to the authentic son, and we'll say authentic so we can keep the bottom line in this situation. But you see him not as he is, but as some kind of failure or missing something in his life. Yeah. Because you're comparing it with your own. But
Mhm.
there's a whole new old world and it's catching up with us. Life is a screen, the one in your head.
Okay. So
So notice how you treat your son when he doesn't want to join the family. Notice what you say, what you do. Notice your attitude. When you're thinking the thought he spends too much time on his computer and he doesn't want to join the family.
it doesn't feel good how I treat him when I get so angry.
So you see that virtual you?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this virtual world, you're looking at his mother.
Hmm.
You're teaching him by example how to get your way.
So you think that virtual mind that I also have when I'm picturing a banana or my son, that's the same like he's
Same.
that's in the
Same.
computer.
Yeah, you see him as a failure or something. You're looking at not at your son, but what you're seeing as your son in the future. So, what is the cause of your suffering? Your son or the ego working you over in virtual reality of the future?
Maybe it's my ego because I'm afraid that I'm a bad mother, but because I have to care about that and I don't care enough, or maybe it's not enough, or maybe yeah, it could also be too much. I don't know.
Yeah. So that I don't know is something to consider. In that situation, how could you know?
I can know, but I don't want to regret it afterwards.
So it's all about you.
Yeah, that's true.
So just notice. Now look at your son when you're believing he spends too much time on his computer. Now listen to him. Listen to his words when you want him to go and join you in with the family. Who are you without the thought? He spends too much time on his computer. Now listen to his words. If he spoke words at all to you, listen to what he said. What did he say?
When I don't tell him that he has to stop playing on the computer,
Mm-hmm.
then he doesn't really care about me. He's continuing his game, and maybe he asked me to go out of this room. Um,
Is that what happened?
no, what happened was that I took his computer because it was really much more than he usually plays on the computer, and he kind of agreed, but he wanted to continue, but he kind of accepted that that I took off his computer.
Ah, yeah. And then he joined the family?
Yes, but it
With
doesn't
attitude?
and that much fun. I don't know.
Yeah. So he spends too much time on his computer. How would you turn that around? I spend too much time on his computer in my head. Just try that on.
Oh, okay.
Like that situation, it happened once, even though it's very common. It happened once. And I spend too much time on my internal computer.
Yeah, my
Fun.
yes, I spend too much time on my internal reality, virtual reality, what could happen and all that stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, from where I sit, that's just brilliant, because that future son in your head is not your son. Your son is the one sitting there you're dealing with in that situation.
Yes.
Oh, sweetie.
Yes. Okay. So I made the wrong turnarounds. Yes, but that's the right turnaround. Yes, that feels good. I spent too much time on his computer.
Mm.
Okay.
And then that virtual son of yours, you see him as failing in life in the future, maybe, or being left behind. But that's virtual. That's a virtual son. It's not your son.
Yes. Yes, and it's about me. I don't want to feel like a bad mother.
Yeah.
It's about me. It's not about him.
Yeah. No one has the answer that you're looking for. It shifts, it changes. This virtual world catching up with us is it's like the Wild West, and holding your place in your heart is it's like the thing you can do. It's the thing you can do. You can have connection with your son, a really brilliant one, without having to invest in winning or losing as a parent. We don't have that much control over them anyway, as much as we would like sometimes. He spends too much time on his computer. Another turnaround I see, I'll run it by you and you can see if it's valid or not. I spend too much time on my son's computer in my head.
Yes.
And I spend too much time with the son in my computer, my head. I spend too much time with my son on his computer when I'm forecasting some kind of failure or that he's wrong in some way.
So I should leave it up to him.
Oh, no, I don't want to give any advice here. These things that we find when we're sitting in self-inquiry and pondering these turnarounds, some great wisdom can come out of it, but only when it shows up. It's nothing we can really contrive. That's what I love about self-inquiry. Never know what you're going to get if your mind is really open to the questions, which it obviously is.
Okay.
My son spends too much time on his computer. Another turnaround. My son doesn't spend enough time on his computer. So ponder that. How might that be so when you look at the future world that our children are stepping into? It's a new world. It's a new world to some of us. But it is what's going on. My son doesn't spend enough time on his computer. How might that be so?
I don't know how he could spend more time on the computer.
He could give up sleeping and eating, which he probably already does. Okay.
Was better. The first one was better. I'm spending too much time on my virtual son on the computer in the future, and the consequences that could have for us.
Because that's taking responsibility for your fear and your caution. It's within you. Your son is doing what his peers seem to be doing, the majority of his peers. It's just it's a different world. It's a virtual world.
Yeah.
Just like yours. It's a virtual world. His screen is on the desk and your screen is in your head, but they're both screens.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So what we're really doing when we sit in self-inquiry is we're hacking hell. Coming out with some kind of life, virtual or not. Well,
Okay.
or not, it is virtual.
So I should stop being in that virtual screen. Yeah.
Yeah, your virtual screen, how you react when you think the thought he spends too much time on his computer. Do you see him missing part of life, like being with the family, that kind of thing? You know, it all seems valid. But then sometimes our children know more than we do. Listening is a really respectful thing for a parent to do. To really listen, whether they deem it to be right or wrong, what we're hearing from our children, just to really listen, because that's where the information is. And if our children trust us, then they're more likely to support us, to support them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So my son spends too much time on his computer. He doesn't spend enough time on his computer. So let's look at that, like areas in his life where he could be on his computer, but he's doing things like homework or cleaning his room, whatever. What do you see? He doesn't spend too much time on his computer.
He's doing sports. He likes going to the gym, and he walks the dog. Doesn't spend all the time on the computer.
Yeah, he's and keep going with your list. What else? Goes to school.
He goes to school. He makes his homework. He cooks his meal after school, and when he has a test in school, he's studying. Yeah, he's not always on the computer. That's true.
Yeah. So just notice that guy sounds like a pretty full life. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Yeah. Let's look at 2.
Number 2 is I want him to go out and play with friends.
Yeah, he plays sports at school.
He does, yes, but he plays.
Do his friends go out and play with each other, or are they at home on their computers as well, if you had to guess?
They are also, as well, quite a lot of time on the computer.
Yeah, times like that have really, really shifted to some degree our whole way of being, the whole different way of seeing what we refer to as spare time. It's taken up with a virtual world. But before computers, it was still taken up with a virtual world of past, future, like you see an image of your son as we speak of him. And you see that image in your head. And there's nothing that tells you really that he's in danger, so you're comfortable. But then the head can shift, and we can go down rabbit holes, like on he spends too much time on his computer. As parents, we can deal with that with a whole other understanding of them. Where do they play? Where do they do their social life? On the computer. It's just a different way. It's not what we expected. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah, I'm just afraid because all those games are made to keep the children continuing playing. They are so perfectly trained to give to. I'm afraid that he gets addicted to this.
Yeah, and you're doing your best, and that is when we're doing our best, sweetie, it doesn't get any better than that. We're practicing. When we're doing our best, it's like a practice. And it shows us what communication is in our head, and the difference between what's in our head and what comes out of our mouth sometimes. And notice how you treat him when you think the thought, I want him to go out and play with his friends, and he's on his computer.
Doesn't feel good how I treat him. And
notice when you treat him that way that you don't feel really good about. Notice the fears in your head that prompt you into that situation.
Yeah, it's a fear, yes.
Now notice the things you worry about him. Notice the difference between reality and the future in your head. And look at that virtual son in your head you're so worried about that you're taking it out on your real son.
Yes.
And that's on you. I want him to see, he spends too much time on his computer. I spend too much time on my internal computer.
Yeah, that seems to be my problem.
And it's not a right or wrong. It's just that as parents, we naturally worry about our children, and this is like a whole new world. That we can tell ourselves what is our son and what is virtual son. And you see him losing out on life because he's living on a computer in your head.
Right now, he's not losing life. He's doing his stuff. He's doing his homework and the stuff for school, and he's doing his sport. Right now, he's not in trouble.
You have to give that space. He's not. He's active in school. He's not always on his computer. He's good around.
No, it's not always on the computer. No, not true.
And it's like a weird. It's a weird is what's too much and what's too little, because in this virtual world, it's a whole new thing. It's just going more deeply into the ego fighting for its life. It just gets down to the simple. Let's look at 3.
He should do other things in the real world and not always be consuming the tablet or phone or computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's doing things in the real world. He's doing his homework. He's going to school. He's his part.
Yeah. So he's doing really well in a virtual world.
He's doing well in the real world. Yes.
Which is a virtual world, just like yours.
Which is also a virtual world, yes. Okay.
There's I call it first generation thinking. There's your son of the past and future as you look at your son. Now you drop the virtual son of past and future when you're talking to your son, and that's presence.
Yeah.
And he should do other things in the real world. And your mind is so open. I'm just going to go here, okay? What real world?
Okay.
What world would that be?
My virtual world, is it that?
Yeah, well, that's the one you're inviting him to join.
Yes.
And his world makes sense to him. And he's obviously open to you, and you're obviously doing some great mothering from where I sit. Yeah.
Okay.
He should do other things in the real world. When I'm talking to my son, I should do
Other things in my world.
yeah, in the real world when I'm talking to my son. And I think you do, from what I'm experiencing. You listen, you're respectful, and a little worried about this strange world where they're just it's like the computer is the go-to now. The virtual, the phone. Let's look at 4.
I need him to limitate his time on the computer.
Okay, so be there now in that situation. You want him to come join the family. To be happy, you need him to limit his time on the computer.
But it's for me to be happy. It's not for him. Yeah. No, I don't need him to limit his time. He will limit his time.
And he does. And seems he's doing well with it.
Yes.
And you invite him to come play the games, and an invitation leaves an opening for yes or no.
Yes.
Unless as a parent you demand it or insist. Yeah. And then they really learn not to like the family games.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, honey, would you come play a game whether you want to or not, because it makes me so happy? And he might hear that kind of authenticity and just join the games.
Yeah, maybe he did.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
So I need me turned around. So how would you turn around? I need me to be happy. I need me to
Limit my time spending thinking that he's too much on the computer.
Something to ponder, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you might ask him. You might ask him to work with you around timing. It's like how many hours a day or times of the day. I don't know. The two of you work through what is reasonable, and it could be just a discussion like that. Because you're where I said you're an amazing mother, and you have an amazing son, and he's very open to you leaving. Okay, sweetie, let's look at 5.
He's addicted to consuming. He doesn't like any other activities, which is not true.
Oh, so much for that. So that takes care of him. You're awake to him now. And so let's wake up to you in that situation. I'm addicted.
On his computer. And on that thought, I'm addicted on the thought that I'm a bad mother. Yes. Or I could be a bad mother when I don't stop him or when I don't, yes.
Yeah. It's like you'd say, honey, it's a dilemma. You're not alone. Yeah, it's a virtual world, with or without computers.
Yes, we always discussed limitations and what would be good for him and what not. And then we agreed to some point, but then he gets so involved in that games, and he wants to continue and he wants to stay there. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're sure not alone, honey. My grandchildren, especially my grandsons, that's their world, and they're doing well in the world, and that's their world.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's a future.
I don't know how they still have jobs, but they're managing, their virtual world.
Yes, and he's managing his school and the computer. So
Mm-hmm. Which tells you, he has the capacity to stay abreast of what's going on virtually and do as well as he can, not be left behind, because he seems to be dealing with all of it.
yeah, that's true. That's true, yeah.
Yeah. He's addicted to consuming. He doesn't like any other activities. Yeah, not true.
No, it's not true.
Yeah. Okay, sweetie, let's look at 6.
Number 6. I don't ever want him to refuse activities with the family just to stay on the computer.
Yeah, I'm willing that he.
I'm willing to accept that that for him it's more important to stay on the computer.
Wow, that's something to consider, isn't it? Wow. Well, as his parent, you can make those decisions, and it sounds like you have a son that will attend the family games if you insist. So as a parent, your call, and any worries you have, obviously you know how to move it from your head to paper and sit through it.
Yes.
I'm willing that he refuses activities.
Yes, I should leave the decision to him if he wants to play games with the family or if he wants to stay on the computer.
Or you can insist as his parent.
But that doesn't feel good. It's
Well, then as his parent, it seems that you're left in a respectful position with your son who wants to stay on the computer in that situation.
yes.
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm willing that he refuses activities with the family. I look forward to him to refusing activities with the family and just respectfully hearing him out.
Yes.
Respectfully understanding that you're not as tapped into the world as he may be.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not inviting anyone listening to me to do this, but I had a thing in me that understood that my children knew any danger they were in as well as I did, and maybe better. And somehow that attitude, all 3 of them have just grown up. It seems to me just really good in their lives, good in their lives, wise. And I still respect their decisions. You know, it's living out of this son. I don't know what's best for them thing. You know, I don't know any more or less than they do at this point. And it could be the same for your son.
Yeah, let's know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Respecting that my children know, and my children are, you know, the youngest is in her 50s. My children. But still, I respect that they know what I'm unable to know because I don't have the information they have in their head or their experience. Even though they might tell me, I don't walk in their shoes. But I do know love. And like you, we know love and we know fear. And love is the power of the two by far. Fear is just false information. That's a big statement, and I love you all to challenge it and take it in. Honey, you just lucky son, lucky family to have you in it. And let's look at number 6. I am willing that he refuses activities.
Yes. And I'm willing that he refuses activities with family and stays on the computer.
Yeah. Yes. And I look forward to him.
Yes, I look forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing that you're the parent and you can insist that he walk away from it. And just be honest with him. You know, I see you're on the computer, and I want you to join the family. We miss you.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes us a unit. And you have authority there. Bye, everyone. I'm putting her down. I'm putting her to bed. Love you. By the way, everyone, if you enjoyed this podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It really matters, and thank you for that. I love that you join me every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time at homewithbk.com. Let's do the work.